Hello there, and welcome. We're going to be doing a little sensory examination with you today. And I'd love to start with your facial sensation. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sensation tests. And we are going to start by grabbing a couple tools here. Make sure those are ready. And then I want to make sure that you can feel sensation with just my hands here. So I'm going to be touching you in different places on your face. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love it if you could just tell me when you feel the touch, okay? Alright, so for example, that. Yes. That. Okay, so we'll just keep going all over your face, just like that. It sounds like there's a little bit of construction around. You might hear that from time to time. So far it's been fairly quiet. But just in case, don't want it to startle you. Good. Yes. 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 So your facial sensation is governed by your trigeminal nerve above the eyebrow here. And it is one of your cranial nerves. Cranial nerve number 5. It has 3 branches. Good. So you have the ophthalmic right here, the maxillary right here, and the mandibular. We want to make sure that all types of sensation across all branches is intact. Okay, good. So let's move on to a lighter touch. That had a good amount of pressure behind it. But I want to use this cotton ball here to do just a bit of light touch here. Okay? So can you tell me if you can feel that? Yes. Yes. Yes, good. We'll just keep going like that. Good. So we are testing your 5 main senses. But you actually have a lot more senses than that. For example, you have a sense of proprioception, which means that you can tell where a body part is. Even if your eyes are closed, you can feel what it's doing, where it is. But today we're just testing the main ones. Good. Yes. Good. Across the nose here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. So now we're going to test your sharp and dull sensations. So I have a reflex hammer here that has a dull rubber end, and I have a little pointed tip at the edge of the blade of the reflex hammer here. So I'm going to have you tell me whether you feel the sharp pointed edge, and even if I really get in there, it's not going to hurt, or if you feel the dull edge of the reflex hammer here. Okay? This is what sharp feels like. Okay? This is what dull feels like. Okay? Alright. Just let me know what you feel. Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Dull. 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 Sharp. 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 Dull. 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 Good. Sharp. Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Dull. 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 Sharp. Sharp. Good. Now we're going to do a bit of a variant on that with a different tool. I have another pointed tip. Again, even if I go real hard at this, it's not going to hurt. And I have a little brush. This time our test is sharp or soft. Soft or sharp. So this is sharp. Okay, and this is soft. Alright, so just tell me, soft or sharp? Sharp. Soft. 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 Sharp. Sharp. Soft. 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 Good. Sharp. Sharp. Soft. 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 Sharp. Sharp. Soft. Sharp. Soft. Soft. going to move on to a different kind of sensation. You have many different types of sensation. And this next one that we're going to do involves vibration and cold temperature sense. So I am going to strike the tuning fork so that it vibrates. I'm going to ask if you feel the vibration, and then I'm also going to just flip it so that I can ask if you feel the cold sensation, like this. Feel the vibration. Okay, and then cold. Good, just like that. So, you may not hear the tuning fork because rather low in frequency, but it's good for vibration. Vibration. Cold. You can feel the cold metal. Good. Vibration. Cold. Vibration. Cold. Vibration. Good. And cold. Vibration. Cold. Vibration. Cold. Vibration. Cold. Vibration. Cold. Vibration. Cold. Good. So, last sensation test. We have 1 or 2 touch discrimination. So, I'm going to ask you if you feel 1 touch or 2. And they're going to be quite far apart because this feels like 1 touch. This can feel like 1 touch. But this feels like 2 separate touches. So, this is 1. This is 2. Just tell me whether you feel 1 or 2 touches. 1. 1. 1. 2. 2. 1. 2. 2. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Excellent. So let's move on to the hearing. Now, your hearing is governed by your vestibulocochlear nerve. This is cranial nerve number 8, and it also controls balance. But we are working just with hearing today. Balance is another one of your senses that we don't include in the 5 main ones. So we are first going to test just your normal hearing at this volume of speech. I have 4 other tests as well. So I'm just going to ask you if you can repeat the word that I say while I'm just this distance using this volume of a voice. Right? Okay. Apt. Green. Volume. Sprinkle. Play. Porcelain. Orange. Fish. Fuzz. Support. Black. Tusk. Plastic. Loom. Shelf. Fold. Gray. Apple. V. Pit. Okay, and all those come in nice and clear then with your ears. Yes. So now I'm going to be speaking at a whispered volume, taking the volume down a little bit, and if you could just repeat the words you hear. Aptitude. Click. Clip. Cut. Pedal. Cord. Water. Grab. Gold. Cotton. Seize. Chocolate. Coconut. Pliers. Fire. Sheep. Table. Ask. Find. Exit. After. Twist. Okay, and that was that. Very good. Now we're going to bring out once the tuning forks. We've pulled out one, but we do have some others to work with. Let's see. I think I'm just going to stick with 4. And we'll see how that does. And this last one, this tiny little guy here. There. So we're going to test frequencies now. Some people, as they get older, they lose higher frequencies. Some people lose lower frequencies. They don't really notice it. It's a very slow decline. You just tell me if you can hear this sound. Mm-hmm. That is our highest pitched fork at 2048 hertz. Let's go real low now. See if you can hear this. We've seen this one before. This is our 128 hertz fork. Let's go just a bit higher. This is one of my most responsive forks. This is 256 hertz, and it's very simple to get a nice clean tone. Whereas, for example, this one, not as much. Now we're going higher still. Good. Very good. Now, we're going to test left or right. And I'm going to do this with just my fingers here. We just need something easy, clean, and able to be distinguished well from one side to the other. This is your left. This is your right. You could tell me what side you hear the finger rubbing on. Left. Right. Right. Left. Both. Right. 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 Both. Left. Both. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Both. Wonderful. One last hearing test. And we're going to do it with one last kind of sound here. I'm going to get my empty case here, and we are going to do either near or far. You could just tell me whether you hear the sound near or far. Okay. Far. Near. Far. Near. Far. Far. Near. Near. Far. Far. Near. Far. Near. Wonderful. We are not going to need tuning forks for the rest of our tests here. So we are just going to slide each fork into their little dedicated elastic loop. The next tests we are doing are on your vision and on your eye movement. Your vision is your optic nerve, your second cranial nerve, and your eye movement is governed by nerves 3, 4, and 6. your oculomotor, abducens, and trochlear nerves. So we're going to do a bit of a test of all of them. So I need a few tools. Let's grab this and these. Good. Now first, let's test your color vision. I am going to do this by holding colored gels up against your eyes. And if you could tell me what color you see. I've noticed that in administering this test, people interpret color quite differently. And so, for example, I see orange with this, but that doesn't mean that other people will. They may see yellow, for example. Something close, but still a bit different. So, I'm going to just put this in front of your eyes. If you could tell me what color you see. Good. What color do you see? Yes. Just looking for something close. What color do you see? Doesn't have to be exact. It has to be close enough. What color do you see? Good. And here? Good. And here. Good. Here. And here. Very good. Now, we're going to test those eye movement nerves and the little muscles that they govern. So, let me just pop on my light. And I'm going to have you follow this light using only your eyes without moving your head. Right? Okay, just follow this light. It's going to come in and out. We're testing both your accommodation reflex, which allows you to focus on things both up close as well as far away. As well as testing all cardinal directions of eye movement. You can move your eyes up and down, side to side, as well as in a diagonal on either side. directions. Good. Just your ability to track these smooth eye movements are called pursuits. If I were to jump around quite quickly, that would be your saccades. Saccadic eye movement. Good. Now, I want to test your peripheral vision. Have you just focus right here on my nose. Don't deviate from my nose. Just focus here. And I'm going to flash a number of fingers in your periphery. And you just tell me how many you see. 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 1, 3, 3, 10. Wonderful. One last test. I want you to test your eye's ability to interpret information. More specifically, this is a very simple reading test to make sure that your eyes are interpreting correct information, that you're recognizing it correctly. I have some number cards here. I'm just going to have you tell me what's on the card. 4, 6, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 0. Just shuffle these up again. Zero. 6, 9, 2, 7, 3, 8, 4. Wonderful. Now we have 2 last senses. We have 3 tests for your sense of smell and 2 for your sense of taste. Now, I have some spice containers that all have green lids. You're going to be able to smell the spice inside just from the lid. I'm going to have you tell me what spice you smell. So we're going to start with both nares open, or both nostrils rather, the nair just being this part, nasal passages maybe. Okay. And just tell me, what is it you smell here? Yeah, we're starting out real strong there. That is garlic. Okay. And this one here. Oregano. Good. Smells like pizza. This one. Similar, yeah, but a little different. Onion. Good. Onion powder. Now I'm going to have you occlude your right nasal passage, so just the left one is open. Okay, so just occlude the right side there. Okay. How about this one? Cinnamon. Good. Do you know that cinnamon is not actually cinnamon? It's a different plant. But I believe it's cassia, if I'm not mistaken. And it grows a lot more. It's able to produce more than real cinnamon. Real cinnamon has a much milder flavor, I believe. What about this one? Yeah, it might be a little tricky. Thyme, yes. Thyme is my favorite spice to smell besides cinnamon. One last one for the left side. Can you identify the smell here? Yeah, be careful. Chili, good, chili powder. So now if you could close the other nasal passage, this side right here. Good, okay. Last view. This one might be fairly recognizable. Rosemary. Good. Now this next one is a blend, but you should be able to pick out both pretty easy. They're very distinct. About this. Lemon pepper. Good. Lemon and pepper both have distinctive scents, even when they're combined. Okay. And then we've got one last one. What will this be? Another one of my favorite smells. Smells like tacos. Smells like cumin. Good. You can release your nose there. Just put that back. Lastly, we are going to, where are my little, there we go. We are going to do a couple taste tests. First one is very similar. Just identify the taste. It'll either be sweet, salty, bitter, or sour. Okay, so. Okay, if I could see your tongue. Good. What does that taste like? Sour. And this one. Salty. This one. Bitter. Yeah, that one's not very nice. What about this one? A little bit better. That one's sweet. Good. The last test here, I want you to just describe what you're tasting. So we're going to switch the other side of our stick here, and you should be able to identify the taste. Okay. Here. What does that taste like? Bright, citrusy, lemon. Very good. Here. Quite cool. Bit sharp. Yeah, that's a bit of toothpaste. Just a tiny bit. Mint. Okay, what about this? Yeah, just tastes sweet. That's a little bit of sugar syrup. Nothing else but just that kind of, if you had too much, it'd be cloying sweetness. Let's do one more here. This one might be a little interesting. Okay. Tastes a little green. Quite fresh, yes. You might have it as a garnish on Italian dishes generally. Yes, it's a bit of parsley leaf. So, that is going to conclude all of our tests today. We had 6 touch tests, 5 hearing tests, 4 vision tests, 3 smell tests if you divide both nostrils, the left and the right, and 2 taste tests. Did you find that all to be fairly easy? Was any of that challenging? Yeah, maybe the taste test a little bit, sure. Okay, but otherwise, very good. I'd like to thank you so much for coming to this test, allowing me to administer said test. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night.